The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
Blow up the neon light. Jimbo and Kyle take flight. 80s dreams on its delight. In the realm of black and white, movies and TV flow through the stories we all know. Silver screen tales unfold in the magic they bestow. The tragedy of cinema, when memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've traveled over half our state to be here tonight. I couldn't get away sooner because my new well was coming in at Coyote Hills and I had to see about it. Ladies and gentlemen, if I say I'm an oil man, you will agree. I'm a family man. I run a family business. This is my son and my partner, H.W. Plainview.
You boys are a regular family business.
Now, you have a great chance here.
My son is a healer and a vessel for the Holy Spirit. He has a church.
You will be cast up and thrust back to perdition.
I'm fixed like no other company in this field. I have a string of tools ready to put to work. That's why I can guarantee to start drilling and to put up the cash to back my word. I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what the others promise to do, when it comes to the showdown, they won't be there.
There's a whole ocean of oil under our feet. No one can get at it except for me.
We'll offer $150,000 for full title.
When do we get our money, Daniel?
I look at people and I see nothing worth liking.
Don't bully me, Daniel, please.
I see the worst in people.
We have a sinner with us.
Get out of here, devil.
I have a competition in me. I want no one else to succeed. I can't keep doing this on my own. With these, people.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Jimbo.
I'm your co-host, Kyle.
Kyle, today we are doing a listener request.
Hello, Kaylee.
From Kaylee. And she wanted us to cover Academy Award-winning movie, There Will Be Blood, starring Daniel Day-Lewis from 2007. Kyle, have you ever watched this movie before?
I sat through it one time before in my life, Yeah, I would have been like 14 when it came out.
I've been like 5.
I watched it when I was like 15 when it came out. I probably watched it when I was 15 and probably sat through it once and it was like, this is weird, and then dismissed it. And now this is me watching it for the first time as an adult.
And it's even weirder.
Now I'm like, that's weird.
Right. Yeah, this was also my first time watching it. I've had it forever, and it feels like a long movie.
Yeah.
I think it's only 158 minutes. I mean, that's still long, but
for the tension it holds
for
you
the
in
subject
the
matter
time
that this talks about, it is very, as Kyle would say, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He said he felt uncomfortable the entire movie. So, Kyle, this is going to be a pretty long one. I got a feeling. So why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Dig right into it. All right. Jimbo, yes. There Will Be Blood, released on January 25th of 2008, even though it's a 2007 film. Covers a story of a family, religion, hatred, oil, and madness, focusing on the turn-of-the-century prospector in the early days of his business. This film was directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, written by Paul Thomas Anderson for the screenplay, and based on the novel by Upton Sinclair, titled Oil.
Which is funny because when I saw this movie, the poster, it said There Will Be Blood. I was thinking, we're going to have a good old showdown
Western
in
flick.
the Western cowboy fight. Boy, was I wrong.
Maintain your property, defend your land.
Yeah.
Get to America.
I guess this would kind of be like, what's that show with Kevin Costner on Yellowstone?
Yellowstone,
Kind
yeah,
of. I don't
maybe
know.
a similar vibe
I've never
to that.
watched Yellowstone. So.
Yeah, heard good things about Yellowstone too. It's always one of those things. I'll get around to it in 6 years after no one cares.
I want to make sure all the sequels and spinoffs and all that are done before I dive into it.
When there's like the perfect list of like, here's how you watch Yellowstone in chronological order. First off, you got to start with
Right.
Harrison Ford thing. That's awesome.
And then you got to go to 1897
Yeah.
and watch episode 3.5. And then you got to go over to 1912 and whatever they are.
It's like the Doctor Who for like American like conservatives. Yeah. I heard good things about that show. I'm sure it's fine. This film was produced by Paul Thomas Anderson, Daniel Lupe, and Joanne Seller, and composed by Johnny Greenwood for an amazing score, frankly. Cinematographer was Robert Elswit. Editor was Dylan Teichner, and casting director was Cassandra Kalukundis, and production designer was Jack Fisk. All right. Going to the budget for the film. We have a budget of just $25 million for 2007, which is a very modest considering what they achieved cinematographically with the cinematography of this film. Great visuals for a really low budget considering how well this film turned out. And just for inflation, that'd be about $38.6 million today. In this case, this is probably one of the most modern movies we really cover. Usually movies we cover are 20 years, if not older. So we're before 2000.
I did say with our 6th anniversary show, we were doing away with that. Do you remember?
Yeah, we that's right. You did.
Of course, if we pull back the curtain, we're recording our 6th anniversary show right when we get done with this one, but it will be released before this.
Yeah.
I'm going to release it today. So.
Yep, how it goes. So that's what it is. That's cool. Yeah, but it's still a very modern film for us to cover, but also just you were requested, so we wanted to cover it and get that done. So I think it's a great choice for removing that rule. It's a good exception, even though we're dismissing the rule altogether. Let's see here. So opening weekend, the film grossed $190,000, so very little money for the opening weekend. I imagine it's probably limited theatrical release for the most part because it made money in the back end very well. Just for inflation, that'd be about $294,000 today. And then gross for just U.S. and Canada, we have $40.2 million. Just for inflation, that'd be about $62 million. So it's made money back, and then it's marketing budget for sure. So good money there. And then gross worldwide, it made even more money for $76.5 million. And just for inflation, that'd be about $117.9 million today. So the movie did I would say a modest success in many successes, or a total success even. So very good in there. Of course, this film wasn't even made specifically for its, be a financial blockbuster, but to be a critically adored darling, which it absolutely is when we get to the awards section. So very successful in that thing. So I'm going to go to the production facts about the film real quick. This film has a runtime of 158 minutes. And moving to the right page here. Aspect ratio, a very cinematic wide 2.39 by 1. Laboratory use was in Deluxe Hollywood, and process was Panavision anamorphic, and that's going to be technical details of the film. Then I'm going to move to the cast list right here. Actually, a very modest cast list overall, just because many of the actors, just to be honest, were kind of unknown to me, and then also we kind of focused on 2 major characters. And every other character is kind of a little more ancillary to the overall plot.
Well, I would say there's probably 3. I would probably say
the son.
The son would be the third one.
The son would be the third one, and then Paul Dano and Daniel Day-Lewis would be the main characters, in my opinion. But the story mainly revolves around these 3 major characters, and I think even 2 are the main focus, even or just 1, frankly, for Daniel Day-Lewis's performance alone. And everything else is kind of a little more ancillary to the plot overall. But just going with the cast here, we have Daniel Day-Lewis playing the role of Daniel Plainview. Daniel Day-Lewis has been in many award-winning films for his entire career: Gangs of New York, The Last of the Mohicans in 1992, Lincoln in 2012, and many other films overall too. Daniel Day-Lewis is a kind of a prestige actor, If there's a prestige actor, it's Daniel Day-Lewis for the most part. Guy just he only wakes up if he's going to do a role that he thinks is going to win an Oscar. I also love that. I watched Phantom Thread. I really love that movie actually a lot. That might be my favorite Daniel Day-Lewis film. Do you have a favorite Daniel Day-Lewis film, Jimbo? Maybe this one.
No, I think you're going to get to it. What's the second one in your cast list?
Lincoln.
No, before that.
Oh, second one on the cast list. Martin Stinger.
No. The second movie that you were going to say for Daniel Day-Lewis, you were saying.
Oh, I said The Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, but what was the one after that?
Gangs of New York. I think it was
probably Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York. Excellent film in its own right as well too. Probably the most maybe the most action focused role I think he had too.
Daniel Day-Lewis is one of those guys that has been in things, and you don't know it's him. He's kind of he always takes these roles that are always award worthy, but he kind of reminds me in a way of Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
he plays these different characters. I mean, Gary Oldman is like the masters of disguise. He's been in everything. He's one of the coolest actors of all time. Daniel Day-Lewis always has these parts that I don't really know who he is because I've never really sat down and looked at him. I could tell you what Gary Oldman looked like, or Johnny Depp, or something like that. But when you say Daniel Day-Lewis, you either see him as Lincoln, or you see him as Daniel Plainview. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I really know what he looks like outside of any of the movies that he's done.
Yeah, I would say more so than most actors. Like, like when you watch a specific actor, you feel like you're watching that actor playing a role, whereas Daniel Day-Lewis really becomes that role to the point where you don't see the actor as much in an impressive way. And Daniel Day-Lewis has managed to kind of he perfectly walks that line more so than many other actors.
And he is a great actor.
Yeah. So very impressive on his role. Yeah.
I wonder when he chooses when he wants to be in a movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I wonder if he turns down scripts.
Oh, absolutely. All the time.
I know he has to, because the performances that he plucked out of what he wants to do, they're always award worthy. And I think that's a sign.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's like a 1 in 1,000 thing. Like he's
an excellent actor. He really is. And even though this movie falls a little short for me, his performance in this
is astounding.
Makes you feel a certain way, and you can't help but what an actor.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
But we'll get there.
Incredible. Yep. So Daniel Day-Lewis right there. Next up, we have Paul Dano playing Eli Sunday, which I forgot to write down the other movies he was in, but he was also in the film The Batman, probably most recently where he played the Riddler, and many other small independent films and many other films as well. So Paul Dano, excellent actor right there. Basically, it has to be a great actor to kind of co-star with Daniel Day-Lewis and kind of hold his own, which I think is kind of debatable. I think Paul Dano puts an amazing performance in, but then compared to Daniel Day-Lewis's charisma,
Daniel Day-Lewis just
he outshines everyone
up in this movie.
It's a bright light compared to the star.
Is it safe to say that Daniel Day-Lewis killed it in this movie?
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie?
That's a smashing performance.
No strikes here. If you've seen the movie, you'll understand how dark that was.
That's terrible. Then next up, we have Dylan Frazier playing the role of H.W., and then Paul F. Tompkins playing the role of Prescott. Then we have many other small roles, like Martin Stinger playing the role of Silver Essay Worker, Matthew Braden playing the role of other these are all Silver Essay Workers.
Who played that butler at the end or whatever, his housekeeper? He did a really good job too.
Housekeeper. Let's see if I can find that real quick. I don't know if I can find that, Al. Let's take a look here. Eli Rose, genealogist, oil workers, Brandy. Probably would appear in the end of the cast list. No, blacksmith, uncredited roles. Plainview servant, Vince Froyo or something like that. I believe that could be the actor, or Phil Shelley also as a Plainview servant. So those are the two servants in the film, and they're both credited as like their most well-known film is There Will Be Blood 2007. So I don't think there were many other films. So
he did a good job too.
They did an excellent job right there too, and I like the kind of like the almost no shock at all when he kind of walks into the room and
he's like, "Oh, here we go again."
It's just like, of course he did, because he's this kind of man, kind of attitude almost when he walks in the room. So a subtle performance in a great movie.
And the thing about this movie is it ends so abruptly. You're like,
"Oh yeah, no, it's just
what."
That's where we're at. Okay.
What just happened?
I feel like there can be an episode 2 of this, and just like it continues on in this kind of like depravity of just this man can get away with everybody he wants, and also does these terrible acts all the time. And he's just a.
But to me, were you expecting it to end just like the boop?
Just because it's been years separated, like I knew the ending of the film going into it, so it can't be a surprise to me now. But I agree to, like, it feels like there's something more going to happen. Like there's going to be a big consequence. Something like in,
Right.
in a fictional story, like
or he was going to die right there on the floor or something.
Yeah. So it does feel like we just cut off here because that's where we need to cut off. It doesn't. Yeah. It's amazing we don't see the consequences of these problems, which is probably speaks a little bit to his character and the fact that like because he's rich, he doesn't have the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reflection of the evil of the world to a degree in this man. We are in a world that is ruled by people like Daniel Plainview in many respects, and I think that's kind of like the message of the film in many aspects. So yeah, I think that it's very interesting that we ended right there. Beautiful way to end the film, I think, but also. Intentionally, I think unsatisfying. So I really appreciate it. But yeah, it's an unusual place to end a film. Just shows there are better filmmakers than I would imagine myself to be. I would never end a film like that.
No. And it kind of reminded me of what was that one we did with Jackie Gleason and.
Oh, that's a good question, Jimbo. You're asking me.
You know what I'm talking about that you picked out where he was wheeling him out in the wheelchair, his estranged son, and they wheeled him out over the top of that out of the hospital. Because he didn't have anybody, his wife and all that.
Oh, gosh, Jack.
You're the one that picked it out.
I know. That's where my memory goes so terrible with it. But I can't remember. If I remember the name title, I'll blurt it out in the middle of the show. Or I have to look it up real quick. We'll find it later. Yeah. But anyways, that's the cast of the film right there. We'll get more into details about the film later because we can talk about our thoughts about it. I'm going to go through the plot summary of the film itself, actually, real quick, and then we'll go into the awards, just because there's so much kind of going on in this film that I kind of want to cover it all and get a summation of the story so we can talk about the film in summation. This is a written review, basically a written plot summary by the person calling himself Hugo. The intersecting life stories of Daniel Plainview and Eli Sunday in the early 20th century California is presented. Miner-turned-oil man Daniel Plainview is a driven man who will do whatever it takes to achieve his goals. He works hard, but he also takes advantage of those around him at their expense if he need be. His business father is his son, H.W., who in reality he acquired when his H.W.'s biological single father, who worked on one of Daniel's rigs, got killed in a workplace accident. Daniel is deeply protective of H.W., if only for what H.W. brings to the partnership. Eli Sunday is one in a pair of twins whose family's farm Daniel purchases for the major oil deposit located on it. Eli, the local preacher and self-proclaimed faith healer, wants the money from the sale of the property to finance his own church. The lives of the two competitive men often clash as Daniel pumps oil off the property and tries to acquire all the surrounding lands at bargain prices to build a pipeline to the coast. And Eli tries to build his own religious empire.
I do believe the movie was Nothing in Common.
Nothing in Common, right. Yes.
From December 6th, 2023, if you would like to go back and listen to episode 166.
It's been a couple
Jackie
years,
Gleason
or a year and a half. And was it Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks, I think.
Tom Hanks and Jackie Gleason, yeah. Yeah, that film had a,
abrupt ending too.
Abrupt, beautiful, and sad ending.
You were wanting more, and I remember saying that, left me hanging.
Left you hanging, but also it's...
And Kyle's like, that's not real life. I was like, okay.
No, I understand. I understand the complaints there because that film maybe didn't hold up as well as I hoped it would for that review. I think if I remember correctly for that film. But overall, in this film, though, I think it works really terrifically. This film was just undeniable in its quality. So that's a quick plot summary of the film. Here, I'm going to go into the awards section here, which is vast. So hopefully, I'm going to go through it and make it respectable. I cut out all of the nominations. It's an honor to be nominated for a bunch of awards, but when you have as much awards as There Will Be Blood has, you got to trim stuff out for just time's sakes.
We'd be here for 8 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'd be here for all day doing this podcast, just talking about awards. So for the 2010 Gold Derby Award circuit, we have the Golden Derby Award for Lead Actor of the Decade in Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2009 Dublin Film Critics Circle Awards, we have the Best Film of the Decade Award in 2009. Then for the 2009 French Syndicate Film Critic Awards, we have Best Foreign Film, Tom Thomas Anderson. Then for the 2009 Golden Eagle Awards in Russia, we have the Best Foreign Film. Then for the International Online Film Critics Poll in 2009, we have the Best Actor in a Leading Role, Daniel Lewis. Then for the 2008 AFI Awards in the USA, we have the Movie of the Year Award for There Will Be Blood. For the 2008 Academy Awards in USA, we have a Oscar win for Best Performance by an Actor in a Leading Role and Best Achievement in Cinematography to Robert Elswit. And that's the wins there. Everything else is nominations for. Well, actually, we're going to go through the Oscar nominations because they're the Oscars. Come on now. We have a nomination for Best Motion Picture of the Year, nomination for Best Writing Adapted Screenplay, a nomination for Best Achievement in Directing, nomination for Best Achievement in Film Editing, and nomination for Best Achievement in Art Direction, and lastly, one nomination for Best Achievement in Sound Editing. Next up, we have the 2008 American Society of Cinematographers Award, where it won an astounding achievement in cinematography and theatrical release. Then the 2008 Art Directors Guild, we have a win for Excellence in Production Design Award and Period Film. Then for the 2008 BAFTA Awards, we have a win for Best Leading Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2008 Berlin International Film Awards, we have a win for a silver win for Best Director, Paul Thomas Anderson, the Silver Berlin Bear Award for Best Director, and the Silver Berlin Bear Award for Outstanding Artistic Contribution for Music to Johnny Greenwood for the score of the film. Next up, for the 2008 Central Ohio Film Critics Association, we have a win for Best Actor, Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2008 Clotrudis Awards, we have a win for Best Director, Best Actor, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Best Supporting Actor, Paul Dano. Then for the 2008 Critic Choice Awards, we have a win for Best Actor, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Best Composer to Johnny Greenwood. Then for the 2008 Dublin Film Critics Circle Awards, we have a win for Best Film and Best Actor, Daniel Day-Lewis. Then we have the 2008 Evening Standard British Film Awards, where we have Best Film Score and Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2008 Gold Derby Awards, we have a win for Best Cinematographer to Robert Elswite, and Lead Actor for Daniel Day-Lewis. And then for the 2008 Golden Globes, we have a win for the Golden Globe for Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture in Drama category to Daniel Day-Lewis. The 2008 Golden Trailer Awards, we have a win for Best Drama TV Spot for The Ant Farm for Music Review in the Music Store. Best Drama TV Spot for the trailer for the movie. Then for the 2008 Grand Primo in International del Piaggio Award, we have the Best Leading Voice Actor for Francisco Panafino for dubbing of Daniel Day-Lewis in the 2008 film for the French dubbing of the film.
Kyle, you're getting into some ridiculous awards.
There's a lot of them, Jimbo. Now I wanted to go through all the wins at least. Then we have the 2008 International Cinephile Society Awards, where we have a win for Best Production Design to Jack Fisk and Best Original Score to Johnny Greenwood. Then for the 2008 International Online Cinema Awards, we have a Best Director Award for Paul Thomas Anderson, Best Actor for Daniel Day-Lewis, Best Picture, and Best Art Direction to Jack Fisk. Then for the 2008 Ohio Film Critic Awards, we have the win for Best Movie Yet to Open in Ohio. Oh, yes, open in Ohio. That's right. Surprise. Ohio. Surprise, Ohio. No one expects Ohio. Irish Film and Television Awards, we have the win for Best International Actor, Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2008 Italian Movie Awards, we have a win for Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis. Next up, for the London Critics Circle of Film Awards, we have a win for Director of the Year to Paul Thomas Anderson and Actor of the Year to Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2008 National Society of Film Critics Circle Awards, we have a award for Best Cinematographer to Robert Elswite, Best Film, Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis, and Best Director to Paul Thomas Anderson. Then next up, for the 2008 North Texas Film Critics Association in the USA, we have an award for Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis. Next up, for the 2008 Online Film and Television Association, we have a win for Best Director to Paul Thomas Anderson. Almost got the page there. Biding my own time. Next up, we have an award for the Online Film Critics Society Awards. We have a win for Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis and Best Original Score to Johnny Greenwood. Then for the Penn Center USA West Literary Awards, we have a win for Best Screenplay to Paul Thomas Anderson. Then for the 2008 PGA Awards, we have the I completely messed that up. For the Palm Springs International Film Festival, we have a win for the Desert Palm Achievement Award to Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2008 San Sebastian International Film Festival, we have a win for Film of the Year to Paul Thomas Anderson. Then for the 2008 Screen Actor Guilds Awards, we have a win to Actor for Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Leading Role to Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2008 Turkish Film Critics Associations, we have a Best Foreign Film Award. Then for the 2008 Vancouver Film Critics Circle, we have a Best Actor Award to Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2007 Alliance of Women Film Journalists, we have a Best Actor Award to Daniel Day-Lewis. The ladies love Daniel.
As they like to call him, DDL.
We also, for the Alliance of Women Film Journalists, we also have a win for Best Cinematography to Robert Elswite, Best Score to John Greenwood, and Best Film to Paul Thomas Anderson, and Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2007 Award Circuit Community Awards, we have a win for Best Actor in a Leading Role to Daniel Day-Lewis. For the Chicago Film Critics Association Awards in 2007, we have a Best Actor award to Daniel Day-Lewis once again.
Can you imagine his trophy case just from this movie?
Just bulging out. You can't even make it. It's not even a trophy case. It's a trophy wall he has.
It's a room. This is the There Will Be Blood room.
Trophy room.
Look at my award.
I don't know. I just put it all in storage now. I have too many.
I melted it down and made a necklace.
Exactly. Made a giant gold chain. Yeah. Daniel Day-Lewis and a gold chain. I'm just laughing at that now. Next up for the 2007 Dallas-Fort Worth Film Critics Association Awards, we have a win for Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis. Next up for the 2007 Florida Film Critics Circle Awards, we have a award for Best Actor, Daniel Day-Lewis once again. Then for the 2007 Golden Schmoes Award, we have a Golden Schmo Award for Best Actor of the Year to Daniel Day-Lewis.
They got the Golden Schmo?
They got the Golden Schmo. And we also got the Golden Schmo Award for Best Line of the Year. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
My milkshake tastes better than yours.
I can teach you, but I have to charge. Next up for the 2007 Kansas City Film Critics Circle Awards, we have a win for Best Film, Best Actor Daniel Lewis, and Best Director Paul Thomas Anderson, who tied with Julian Schnabel for the film The Diving Bell and The Butterfly.
You know what's not going to be on this list?
What's that, Jimbo?
A win for a Razzie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Razzies don't make an appearance on There Will Be Blood. Next up for the 2007 Las Vegas Film Critics Society Awards, we have an award for Best Actor Daniel Lewis, Best Cinematographer to Robert Elswit, and Best Score to Johnny Greenwood. Next up for the 2007 Los Angeles Film Critics Association Awards, we have a win for Best Picture, Best Actor Daniel Lewis, Best Director Paul Thomas Anderson. Yeah. Next up for the New York Film Critics Circle Awards, we have a win for Best Cinematography to Robert Elswit, Best Actor Daniel Lewis. Then for the 2007 New York Film Critics Online Awards, we have a Best Use of Music to Johnny Greenwood, Best Film, who tied with The Diving Bell and Butterfly, which is a film I've never heard of before. I have to check that out. Best Director Paul Thomas Anderson, Best Actor Daniel Day-Lewis, Best Cinematographer to Robert Elswit, and a win for Top Films of the Year. Then for the 2007 Phoenix Film Critics Society Awards, we have a win for Best Performance by an Actor Leading Role to Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2007 San Diego Film Critics Awards, we have the Best Screenplay Adapted to Paul Thomas Anderson, Best Director to Paul Thomas Anderson, Best Score to Johnny Greenwood, and Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2007 Southeastern Film Critics Association Awards, we have a win for Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis. For the St. Louis Film Critics Associations, we have a win for Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis. How many often am I going to say Daniel Day-Lewis in this whole podcast? Then for the 2007 Utah Film Critics Association Awards, we have a win for Top 10 Films of the Year and Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis. Then for the 2007 Village Film Poll, we have an award for Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis and Best Film to Paul Thomas Anderson. And then finally, for the 2007 Women Film Critics Circle Awards, we have a win for Best Actor to Daniel Day-Lewis, everybody. And that concludes the awards for There Will Be Blood.
And that includes the Daniel Day-Lewis Appreciation Day.
Train of awards, just all these Best Actor awards, and just like, oh my gosh, go home, Daniel. At that point, I wouldn't start.
And you know, and I'm sure his movie Lincoln, he won a ton of stuff for that too.
Sweeps,
he just,
you know, same thing with Phantom Thread and a bunch of other movies too. Probably Gangs of New York. I'm sure. I bet he just swept up all the awards into a dustbin. They're like, oh, these are mine now. I don't know what to do with these because he's crazy. He has to be crazy to play roles like this. I've heard he's nice. I don't know. Anyways, Jimbo, let's dive into some trivia for the film, which I'm sure there's lots of stuff going on.
That's not too much.
Oh, okay. Not too much.
But interesting stuff. That's the thing. So in an interview on the National Public Radio program Fresh Air with Terry Gross, Paul Dano told Gross that he had originally been cast in a much smaller role of Paul Sunday, Eli's brother, and another actor had been cast as Eli. However, after Dano had already started filming his one scene as Paul Sunday, Paul Thomas Anderson decided to replace the actor playing Eli. Anderson then asked Dano to play Eli Sunday, a much bigger role, as well as Paul Sunday, and they decided to change the film to make the brothers identical twins. Anderson asked Dano to play Eli on a Thursday, and filming for the role began 4 days later on the next Monday. Sir Daniel Day-Lewis, by contrast, had a whole year to prepare to play Daniel Plainview.
Oh, wow. Just adds to the...
So just 4 days, you're like, here you go.
what an incredible compliment where your performance is so good that the director's like, no, you're gonna get another role in this. We're gonna make a twin brother. We're gonna make up a twin brother just for you. Like what?
Just because you're acting so
just because your acting is that good, which is ridiculous. And also Paul Dano, who I neglected to put his movies on when I did the cast list there. Some of the other films he's notably been in: Little Miss Sunshine, Dumb Money, most recently in 2023, Swiss Army Man. In Swiss Army Man in 2016, The Girl Next Door in 2004, which is the first film I saw him in, and then also he's going to be in the Batman Part 2 pretty soon in 2027 or whenever that movie decides to come out in 50 years. So Paul Dano, excellent actor, amazing compliment right there for sure.
So Sir Daniel Day-Lewis based his voice and characterization of Daniel Plainview and in part of old recordings of the director, writer, and actor John Huston. An article by Christopher Goodwin in the Sunday Times of London revealed Paul Thomas Anderson sent Daniel Day-Lewis documentaries about Huston while Daniel Day-Lewis was preparing to play the role.
Incredible. In general, like his whole performance as Daniel Plainview, Huston or Huston?
Huston, Huston.
Huston, yeah. I'll say Huston.
Need glasses. My eyes are getting blurry.
Exactly. Old man glasses.
Kyle, let me borrow your binoculars.
I do. They're like an inch thick. It's great. They're binoculars around there.
That's why we don't record outside, because you would burn the notes by magnifying.
Exactly, yeah.
Did you ever do that when you were younger? Did
burn
you ever
ants
with the magnifying? Wow, Kyle, I didn't say ants. I burned grass and leaves. You're over here with straight to burning ants.
Little mini genocides. Yay. Kyle was great. No, I never did the burning with the magnifying glass. I think I tried it once, but it didn't really work for me because I never had a good sunny day to really get it done right.
Because you always have that cloud hanging over you.
Exactly. Boy, Jimbo, you are too close to the truth.
And that was the last day Kyle was on the podcast.
Exactly. Still fun.
Well, it's always fun making fun of Kyle. No.
It is. I won't deny it. First reason we do it.
While on location in Marfa, Texas, No Country for Old Men was the neighboring film production. So they were filming No Country for Old Men at the same time close by.
I would say they have a similar vibe, too,
right.
in many respects.
One day, Paul Thomas Anderson and his crew tested the pyrotechnical effects of the oil derrick fire, which if you see this, it's one of the most amazing shots in this film.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Right. Causing an enormous billowing of smoke, intruding on the shot that Joel Coen and Ethan Coen were shooting. This caused them to delay filming until the next day when the smoke dissipated. Both this film and No Country for Old Men would eventually become the leading contenders at the Academy Awards a year and a half later.
Wow. Small for a moment, for sure. Just two.
Did you ever watch No Country for Old Men?
Oh, I love No Country for Old Men.
That's a weird movie, too, because the main actors never even see each other.
I know, yeah. Anton Chigurh is an amazing performance. Truly, it's a great film.
And who is that? Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones. I don't remember who plays Anton Chigurh. I can't remember the name of the actor. Gosh, it's terrible. He's a great actor, too. I'll have to look it up.
Kyle, if your memory was ever good.
I remember the character's name, but I don't remember the actor's name. That's the terrible part.
So Dylan Frazier, who plays H.W. Plainview, the son of the character played by Daniel Day-Lewis.
Javier Bardem, yeah.
Yeah. The son was not an actor. He was an elementary student near the film's West Texas shooting location. On the radio program Fresh Air with Terry Gross again, Paul Thomas Anderson told Gross that when the production was trying to convince Dylan's mother to allow Dylan to be in the movie, his mother wanted to figure out who Day-Lewis was, so she rented a copy of Gangs of New York.
Oh, gosh.
In which he plays a murderous gang leader nicknamed The Butcher. She panicked at the idea of her son spending time with the man she saw in that movie. So the There Will Be Blood casting department rushed to get her a copy of The Age of Innocence, in which Daniel Day-Lewis plays a civilized and gentle man. So it just shows you how good of an actor he is.
Yeah, he sinks into the role so much.
My son, no, he didn't get nowhere near.
Yeah.
The film was originally given a 12A rating in the UK for cinema exhibition, meaning that children of any age could go see it with adult supervision if they were younger than 12 years old. In a curious move, the distributor subsequently appealed to the British Board of Film Classification to consider raising the certificate. The BBFC agreed, and the film was subsequently upgraded to a more restrictive 15, preventing those younger than 15 years from being admitted to screenings regardless of parental supervision.
Yeah.
Regardless of parental supervision. So even if you want to take your son, you're like, nah, you ain't getting in.
Yeah. Also, I don't see anyone 12 or under liking this film. It's not a film for kids. None in the sense that, like, oh man, the imagery is so grotesque and like it'll traumatize them.
Well, there is some.
There is definitely a lot of imagery and like a lot of stuff like is like upsetting, but at the same time, like not like terrible imagery. I've certainly seen worse by that time in my age. Of course, that's me.
I was gonna say, is that really such a stretch, Kyle?
Exactly, not really a shocking thing. But in general, the content of the film though is just a mature story that I don't think kids would appreciate it. You know.
Kyle, do you remember the movie we covered that Paul Thomas Anderson did?
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Don't look.
Don't
look.
Are we talking about Event Horizon?
No.
We're not talking about Event Horizon.
Sir Daniel Day-Lewis accepted the role of Daniel Plainview as he had been a fan of Paul Thomas Anderson's previous film, Punch Drunk Love.
Oh, right. Of course.
According to producer Joanne Seller, the film might not even have been made at all if Daniel Day-Lewis declined the role. So this was basically made for him.
Without Punch Drunk Love, he wouldn't have There Will Be Blood. That is incredible. What a small moment. And then, of course, we wouldn't have Punch Drunk Love without Long Goodbye.
Too bad Kyle can't remember anything we talked about.
That means we have like 3 movies that are like almost directly connected because we did Long Goodbye, we did Punch Drunk Love, and now we did There Will Be Blood, and we did them all in order.
Yep.
That's incredible.
That's crazy.
Movies that wouldn't just fight each other.
Daniel Plainview was modeled loosely after famous oilman Edward Doheny, and his characteristics were based on Count Dracula.
You know,
Greystone Mansion in Beverly Hills was used at the end of the film. This house was built by Doheny for his son, Edward L. Doheny Jr., or otherwise known as Ned.
For as evil as he is, I would say he does have style. For as evil
he dresses nice.
He does dress really nice. He looks, Daniel looks great in every scene he's in. I'm doing like, besides like him like looking bad, but like,
it just hit me that Daniel Day-Lewis and Daniel Plainview.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just hit me.
Yeah.
So Daniel Plainview bears some resemblance to a real early 20th century California oil tycoon named Edward Doheny. Both were from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Both were employed by the Geological Survey and worked in Kansas. Both tried a hand at mining before going into the oil business, and both worked with a fellow prospector named H.B. Ellman. As for other Plainview Doheny connections, the bowling alley scene in There Will Be Blood was filmed at Greystone Manor, a California estate he had built as a present for his only son. Also interesting, the infamous milkshake speech Plainview gives is based on transcripts of Congressive hearings concerning the Teapot Dome scandal, in which the very same Edward L. Doheny had been accused of bribing a political official.
Oh, wow. So basically the film is almost loosely like an adapted biopic of him, like a fictionalized version of his story in many respects. That's incredible.
Paul Thomas Anderson planned to have the restored bowling alley used at the climax located at the Greystone Mansion to be entirely painted in white to give some Kubrick's. What did I tell you before that? I told you the end scene reminded me of Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So symmetry and menacing quality. Also a nod to Clockwork Orange, which that is a weird movie if we ever cover it. Really weird.
Oh, Clockwork Orange would be a very
however, he changed it in its original state when it was later decided that the bowling alley was to be given away for ownership after filming. So, but that if they would have done that ending scene in the bowling alley, if it was all white, it just would have.
The visual alone would have been
over the top.
Yeah, that would have been
blood
insane.
would have been everywhere, dude.
Oh my gosh, it would have been. It would have been more traumatic to look at for sure.
Would have been looking like Dexter in one of those scenes where he's trying to do the blood splatter.
Like one of the commercials they use, yeah.
Sir Daniel Day-Lewis improvised the speech he gives to the citizens of Little Boston about building schools, bringing bread to the town, etc. Paul Thomas Anderson says of this, it was delicious. It was Plainview on a platter. So he ad-libbed that entire speech.
Incredible.
That is one of the best speeches of this movie.
That's why
one of the best dialogues. He's awesome.
That's why he's so well respected.
Yep. In the summer of 2006, during filming, a photographer took an on-set photograph of a man the photographer believed to be Sir Daniel Day-Lewis, albeit with a great deal of physical alterations. The photograph appeared used on various film websites and in magazines as an example of how drastically Day-Lewis had changed himself for the role. Upon viewing the film and applying common sense, it turns out this person was not, in fact, Daniel Day-Lewis. Rather, it was actor Vince Froyo, who portrayed Plainview's closest associate at the end of the film. So it was Vince Froyo.
Okay, awesome.
According to Paul Thomas Anderson, the director and crew were pretty loose about where scenes would take place. This sometimes meant filming scenes 3 or 4 different times in different locations and evaluating the result of each one. So that's something different too. Hey, we're going to try this here. We're going to try this here. Which one do we like better? We're going to use that one.
And still doing it for a modest, for film budgets, but $25 million is equally impressive as well, especially for the amount of practical use of effects and that's as well. Having to reshoot costs money, and they used it very wisely. Incredible, efficient performance.
So this has the famous milkshake quote.
Yeah.
So we had talked about it being part of the congressive hearings for the Teapot Dome scandal in the 1920s. So according to Anderson, quote, I think it was Albert Fall who was asked to describe drainage before Congress, and the way of describing it was this. If you have a milkshake and I have a milkshake and my straw reaches across the room, I'm sure I embellished it and changed it around and made it more plain view, but Fell uses the word milkshake, and I thought it was so great. It was so mad to see that word among all this official testimony and terminology. It was a milkshake, man. I get so happy every time I hear that word. He went to go to Congress and say, the milkshake.
Yeah, you think of it. The milkshake sounds so innocent. It's a thing you give to a small child, and then you can use describe basically oil stealing. So
all they would have had to do is have Daniel Plainview roll up to the nearest McDonald's and say, "I want a milkshake," and they would have said, "Sorry, sir, our ice cream machine is down," and he would have flipped out and burned down
lost
McDonald's.
His mind, burned down. You would have taken over McDonald's and burned it to the ground, just in spite of that one day.
How come those things are never working? Have you noticed that?
It's a right to repair thing.
Yeah. Job security.
Yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson told Entertainment Weekly magazine that the fake oil used throughout the movie included the stuff they put in chocolate milkshakes at McDonald's. I didn't even see that. we just, man, I am on a roll today with
You got it, Jimbo.
Connecting the dots. A little-known band in Manchester, UK has adopted the name of Eli and the Third Revelation in homage to the film. Kyle, why don't you look up a song of Eli
and the Third Revelation.
And the Third Revelation, and we'll play a little snippet and see how they sound. Just pick some random crazy
Just watch
song.
it be like the most foul mouth thing ever.
Or something like I'll burn your house to the ground and beat your head in with a bowling pin and stuff like that.
You said the Third Revelation?
Yep, Eli and the Third Revelation.
Okay. Eli and the Third Revelation. I'm pulling it up. Revelation. Eli and Third Revelation. It just pulls up scenes from There Will Be Blood. It doesn't actually pull up the songs.
Oh, really?
No, yeah, it's just clips from the movie. And also from Metal Gear Solid, The Phantom Pain. I don't know why. Okay, I'll see if I can find the songs here in a minute.
Okay. Along with his win in 1989, Sir Daniel Day-Lewis became only the 8th actor to win the Academy Award for Best Actor twice. Kyle.
What's that, Jimbo?
He's only the 8th actor to win the Academy Award for Best Actor twice. Can you give me any of the other 8?
Well, I know it's not Leonardo DiCaprio. Twice. Who would get it twice?
I'll say this one because you're not going to get this one. Frederick March for 1932 and 1946.
Oh, right. Yeah, it has to be like older actors for sure.
No, that's pretty well. There's 3 more pretty older ones.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get them. So
no, I'm really not.
Jack Nicholson, 1975 and 1997. Marlon Brando, 1954 and 1972.
Marlon Brando sounds right.
Gary Cooper from 1941 and 1952. Tom Hanks, 93 and 94. So he won them back to back. Dustin Hoffman for 1979 and 88. Spencer Tracy, 1937 and 1938. And yes, the 9th member that finally got inducted was Sean Penn from 2003 and 2008.
Sean Penn, wow. I didn't know Sean Penn was that highly decorated. Honestly, didn't. I don't watch many Sean Penn films, to be honest. Yep. I'm trying to find Eli and the Third Revelation. I every time I go to search it, I get Eli and the 13th Confession, which is a different band, I believe. And every time I look up Eli and the Third Revelation, I get a bunch of songs that I don't think are actually from that band.
Well, it said it was a little. Can you like Google Manchester UK band Eli and the Third Revelation and see if it does that?
See if I can get there. Yeah, Manchester UK band. Yeah.
Every Wednesday night during editing, Paul Thomas Anderson and company would have just steak and straight vodka for dinner to keep in the mentality of Daniel Plainview.
Steak and vodka. Steak and vodka. Wow, that's an interesting combo right there. I don't think I would go for steak and vodka. That'd be no.
Kyle, as of 2012, with a $76 million worldwide gross, more than 3 times its budget, this is the most profitable film Paul Thomas Anderson has made.
Wow, that's not saying. It's incredibly that's surprising because for as highly regarded as these films are, There Will Be Blood being the most successful is surprising because it's really good. But at the same time, I would thought the other films would still make even more money, or Gangs in New York, especially for the scale of that film, would make more money. But that's surprising. Interesting, cool.
The opening shot with the vast mountains and foreboding score surging over them is reminiscent of the opening shots of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
I think I might have it. Maybe it's because it says Eli Young Band and it has a song called Revelations. This could be it. Let's find out. No, Eli Young Band. That's not it. That's not UK.
I'll give up.
Yeah, I give up.
Here you go, Kyle. Philip Seymour Hoffman was the original actor in mind when Paul Thomas Anderson wrote the role of H.M. Tilford, but Anderson decided to cast someone else as a means of distancing himself from his past works and have a sort of rebirth in his career without any loose ends connecting him to the other, more lighthearted films such as Boogie Nights or Punch Drunk Love. Hoffman was also busy filming Syndicate, New York at the time Tilford's scenes were being shot anyway, so... Quentin Tarantino said his relationship with Paul Thomas Anderson was my most cherished relationship that I have with another filmmaker, and compared it to the relationship between Marlon Brando and Montgomery Clift. Brando was better because Montgomery Clift existed, and Montgomery Clift was better because Marlon Brando existed. As such, this film inspired Tarantino to be better.
I actually found a video on YouTube specifically about Quentin Tarantino talking about this film and how he felt challenged by it in the best way possible. Where he felt like he became a better filmmaker directly because There Will Be Blood got made, and I found that very fascinating. That was one of the first things. I do try and look up some kind of a critical appreciation for films when I do podcasts, especially if There Will Be Blood. There was a lot to choose from, and I was surprised to see Quentin Tarantino basically say Paul Thomas Anderson is basically like a duality in his life where he recognizes him as the ultimate challenge to his career to make better films. So very interesting comparison right there. I wouldn't have expected that from Quentin Tarantino, but there it is.
The script originally ended with Plainview bludgeoning Eli to death with a tumbler instead of a bowling pin, and then throwing his body through the bowling pins into the cellar beyond. Once on set, it was changed to the slightly less graphic version seen in the film.
Yeah, no, I think that the less visceral the violence is, I think it actually stands out even more in the film because it feels more real, it feels more downplayed, and more terrifying in that aspect. So I think it plays the film even better because it doesn't go over the top.
According to a 2007 interview with Paul Daniel on the NPR show Fresh Air with Terry Gross, so if you want to listen, Fresh Air with Terry Gross, if it's still on, the scene where Plainview is baptized by Eli, where Eli slaps him several times, was shot the day after the scene in which Plainview threatens to bury Eli and slaps him around. So he's getting a little bit of revenge there.
Right there, yeah. Today I get you, next day I get the next guy. Yeah. So I imagine that kind of played well for the actors.
Russell Harvard, who plays the deaf adult H.W. Plainview at the end of the film, is actually deaf.
Oh, cool.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
not cool that he's deaf, but
not cool that he's deaf, but cool they got representation there.
Yeah. Sir Daniel Day-Lewis appears in every scene of this film with 3 minor exceptions. He is not present in the scene where Eli Sunday, still covered in mud, berates his father, the church sermon, and in the brief montage of H.W. and Mary Sunday leading up to their marriage. So stole the screen time.
Yeah, for sure.
And last but not least, Daniel's warnings to H.W. that he's making a grave mistake by moving to Mexico to begin his own oil company would prove to be prescient. Only 10 years later, Mexican oil production would be nationalized. So he may have been crazy, but he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, no, he's incredibly business savvy. He was right about everything too. But as being, as cold and ruthless as he is, it's no surprise. Yeah.
All right, Kyle. The time has come to judge Callie.
Judge Kaylee. Yeah,
Kaylee, not Kaylee.
Yeah.
Kaylee, we'll say Callie so that way she's not embarrassed. No. All right, Kaylee. I'll go first on this one. I'll let Kyle collect his thoughts.
All right.
Because he likes to play off what I say anyway. So.
Always, yeah.
I'll go first. This is my first time watching it. Mm-hmm. It is beautifully shot. That scene where the oil rig blows and his son ends up being deaf or whatever, fascinating.
Oh yeah.
It is such a beautiful shot of some. That whole thing had you on the edge of the seat. You got oil going everywhere. The Daniel Day-Lewis's performance, top notch. I mean, this guy is an actor among actors. I mean, wow. The kid played a really good role too, especially when he went deaf and he couldn't hear, and just his father berating him and like, you will hear, he's bringing in all these actors and and all that. Then what really tugs at your heartstrings is at the end of this movie when his son is grown up, he's getting married and he's going to move to Mexico, and Daniel Day-Lewis is an old, decrepit old man, and he's sitting behind this desk, still concerned about his money. And here's where he says, the deaf guy is like, hey, you're my father. How could you? He says, you know what? He said, you were never my son.
Yeah.
He had just taken the guy because he needed somebody them to have pity on him to sell them their land.
Yeah.
And you see that, and the son is just crushed.
Devastated.
Crushed.
Yeah.
And he's like, you were never nothing to me. All you were was like a tool, to.
Yeah.
And I was like, man.
Something to make it more appealing.
Yeah. And this guy, man, you were just like, wow, this is it's so wrong.
Yeah.
And it just shows you the length that Daniel Plainview would go to get what he wants or to get a deal or whatever.
Yeah. Money is the only thing that matters to him. Money and empire.
So let's talk about where I'm going to rate this.
Mm-hmm.
For all the things I said, outstanding. The problem I have with this is it's like we talked earlier, Kyle, it just makes you uncomfortable watching this movie.
Yeah.
How terrible a human being can be at times. I mean, you have him, basically this guy comes to pretend to be his brother, which you find out is not his brother.
Yeah.
And he kills him at the campsite, and then he just sits there and eats, and takes a nap. Then you have him doing that to his son. And then the whole conflict he has with the pastor, Tom.
His manipulation of religion character. Specifically,
Oh man,
always claiming to be a good Christian man, but never, truly, doesn't care at all.
No, and he just did that. We went down there to get baptized or whatever, and he gets slapped around. And I think the preacher guy, what is Plano's character's name?
Eli.
Yeah, Eli. You see him and the whole struggle. It's like the whole struggle between good and evil, the entire movie. But to come to find out, Eli was not much better than they were kind of the same person.
Two men trapped in their ways of getting power.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, this movie is impressive. It captures your attention. And yes, I'm not going to give her second strike because I don't think it was that bad. I think it's actually a good movie.
Yeah.
It's it's a timepiece, if you will, but the historical significance of this movie and the way that Daniel Day-Lewis portrays that character draws you in. You end up hating him, but you also you feel sorrow and you feel pity for this guy because he ended up dying alone. Well, I say dying alone, you don't really know what's going to happen, but he ends up losing his mind. Basically, the entire thing that he wanted to build, the empire that he built one of the greatest empires there is, and yet he's all alone.
He's all alone, and also, he has nothing of true value in his life at all. There's no values, and there's no love, there's no kindness, there's nothing in his life that feels any kind of warmth at all. It's all a cold, ruthless empire of constant expansion that serves nothing. It is a man devoid of all heart and soul in every aspect of his entire life and his existence. He is nothing of a person. It's a true vacuum of humanity as Daniel Plainview character, and I think that's utterly fascinating in his depiction. And it's a terrifying kind of revelation, how many people in the world exist like Daniel Plainview, where they exist purely for the expansion of capital and gaining money and making a number go up. And nothing else. He has no love for his adoptive son HW. He can't accept him when he gets disabled. He can't accept his son for who he is. He
because it interrupted his business ideas.
It interrupted his business ideas, and it no longer served him to use him as a tool for selling his product. And as well as his manipulations of the church and other people, he was ruthless in his way that he just uses other people's beliefs and ideas to further his own goals in every aspect, completely without any kind of shame. It is disgusting. Daniel Plainview is a disgusting person in every aspect of his life, and it's and it's sad how pathetic he is, and it's also it's unnerving how he wouldn't offer that to anyone. He wouldn't offer that to you or me. Daniel Plainview as a character, as a person, he lacks the ability of empathy. There's no way. He never woke up and felt bad about his son. I don't think. He felt bad that his son affected his career.
Well, especially there's the scene where he sends his son off to
the school for like 2 years. Or
yeah, just to get him out of there.
Just to get him out of his way.
Yeah.
And then when it becomes financially beneficial for him to bring him back to basically continue to sell to the religious the kind of. He has a little bit of a cult, Eli's kind of cult almost, fanaticism, kind of religious church. He brings his son back to kind of remedy the situation to a degree, try and look like a good father again, and it kind of utterly fails for him. Just Daniel Plainview sucks.
Yeah. So if I'm rating this, and it was my first time watching it, shock value. A good movie gets you in your emotions, and makes you feel a certain way. Like, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
Or I feel sorry for this guy. So for that, I'm going to give this movie a 8.5 out of a 10. I think it's definitely worth a watch. There is some language in it, and then there is a little bit of violence, especially towards the end. And the only thing that I'm going to ding it on is the ending just stops. And there is no justice. This guy didn't get what he deserved, but in a way he did get what he deserved, because basically one of the only people that would ever talk to him was Eli, and it was his sworn enemy, if you think about it. And now that he's killed him, who's he really going to talk to?
It is the end of the story because he no longer has anyone to bounce off of at all. He's utterly alone after the death of Eli. Right. Yeah.
So Kyle, I'm giving it an 8.5. Where are you sitting on it?
Jimbo, I think I agree with you, and we talked about it before we recorded the podcast. You told me how I feel about the film. I was just like, I felt awful watching the film, which I truly did. This film makes my skin crawl when I watch it, by the cinematography and by the soundtrack. The cinematography it makes me uneasy, and the soundtrack adds to it even further exponentially. They combine together; they're a multiplication of each other. Where I feel incredibly uncomfortable watching this film each time I've seen it. First time I saw it and this time, I had to stop it several times when I started it, just getting a few minutes in, just the awkward scenes of him going in the silver mine trying to get silver, and then later the scene where the guy died on the oil rig with the giant iron, it goes through him with the iron pipe. It just upsets me in a way that is deeply unsettling for me. So this is a film that's very difficult for me to watch, and I never want to sit down and watch it again, to be honest. But that said, it is a dang near kind of perfect film. I think that's exactly what it set out to do, and it did it perfectly well. It's kind of an amazing film that I can't help but kind of despise and love. So for me, as a rating goes, I'm going to give it actually a 10. I'm really going to give it a 10. I think it's an amazing film in every aspect, well worth any adult watching it. At least once, to kind of get that feeling and to see that kind of that worldview, that kind of person, to see that kind of character who is not really depicted in any kind of media, really. Yeah,
you didn't have to suck up to her that hard, Kyle. You could have gave it a 9.5, but no, you gave it a perfect 10.
I gave it a perfect 10. I do legitimately.
It is. I see where you're coming from. It's very close to. It's a heavy movie. It really is a heavy movie, but it tells the story well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely agree with you. So I think it's a very strong movie. I think it's It's amazing. It's an amazing film, but same time, man, I don't ever sit down and watch this again. I feel upset by it. It's a film that's difficult for me to watch, but I also love it. I think it's kind of perfect.
Right.
So yeah, that's where I stand with it.
All right. So if you would like to send us an email or a message about a movie you'd like us to cover, or even in the Facebook group, throw it in there. Me and Kyle take a look at it. We'll put it on the list. We have an ever-growing list that keeps expanding. So we are the Tragedy of Cinema Podcast. Thanks for listening once again. You can follow us on Facebook, the Tragedy of Cinema Podcast. Email us at thetragedyofcinema@gmail.com. Kyle, any last remarks?
I just like milkshakes, Jimbo.
Well, you know what, Kyle? My milkshake tastes better than yours. And with that being said, this episode's coming to a close.
And cut.
The tragedy of cinema, where where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. Those we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. To the tales we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. To the tales we love the most. To the tales we love the most.
All right, Kyle, it's over. Put your shirt back on.